Indy Mogul.
Friday 101 is about to begin. If you're looking for a particular segment, click one of the topics listed below.
I got in contact with my friend Andrew Kim of the channel WMAIStudents, and he's going to tell us how he does his fight scene.
Oh? Russell is dead, so I'm here. Hey Indy Mogulers, Andrew here, and I'm back for part 2. This week I'm going to cover more on how you should perform a fight scene, how to shoot it, and other miscellaneous tips you might need. Let's get started. I got a little secret for you. You ready? The camera is gonna lie to you. I'm sorry, but it's true. Now, keeping that in mind, power is not gonna matter in a fight scene. Usually punches that hurt in real life don't look like they would hurt from a camera's perspective. As such, all the movements need to be exaggerated. So always focus on hitting as fast as you can, but not necessarily as hard as you can. Since you're not really gonna hurt the guy, it should also be about tricking the camera. Whenever it's gonna be hits across the face, always try to punch past it or swing across to make it look like you hit him. People don't tend to think this way, but stuntmen are actors too. They don't get that many lines, but they need to act like they're in pain. They need to act as though they got hit by a baseball bat or a punch or any of those things. In other words, they need to sell the hits. If they can't, you lost your fight scene.
A lot of short films I get from Mogul or Made that have fight scenes in them tend to look like this.
See, very stiff on the upper body. No, just really stiff and not natural. If you're fighting for your life, look like you're fighting for your life. And he's got sand up his nose. Sorry.
That was all for my own feet kicking it up.
It's always going to be a two-way street between the actor and the stuntman in the fight scene. One will always need the other to look better. If one guy can't pull off the hits or can't pull off the moves that well, the other guy is not going to look as great. It doesn't matter how good the other guy is. It's not going to work. Despite what people tend to believe, fight scenes have stories behind them. A fighter will always have motivation behind their fist. Like a drama, it has a pace and a set of progression. There's going to be a build-up, climax, and a falling action which then ends with a victor. On another note, remember, exhaustion exists. And I don't mean performing it, I mean in the story, in the context of the fight, exhaustion will exist. A person can't fight with 100% effort all the time. They're gonna get tired. If it makes sense within the story that they get tired, you can show them tired. It'll make sense. However, if it's a very over-the-top thing and the guy's gonna fight 100% all the time, go for it. Remember, it's all about style. When usually shooting a scene for a movie, it always starts with a master shot. This is an extremely wide shot that shows the geography of the characters and the location they're in. Some people start with this with the fight scene too. They have the actors portray the entire thing non-stop in one take and try to get everything in shot. The problem with it looks boring. Plus the actors are gonna get exhausted by doing over and over the fight in one long take. Because it's so wide, the audience is not gonna be that attached to the fight. They're very literally separated because it's so far. The closer the camera is, the more excitement the audience will feel and be connected with the actors. My way of filming a fight scene is to break it down into pieces. That way you take each piece and then you set up a shot, ensuring you get the right action shot you need. That way, the actors can always go 100% and take breaks in between, and you'll always find the money shot. To save you some trouble in editing the floor, here's a tip. Whenever you do a sequence, have the actors re-perform 2 or 3 of the hits from the previous sequence. That way, when you edit everything together, everything will flow seamlessly. It's a lot easier to have something flow from a previous movement rather than cut from a dead stop. And if you have time in pre-production, have the actors or stuntmen shoot a test fight. Basically, this is to practice camera choreography and to have the stuntmen get a feel for each other and see how they can perform actions, or if there's something they're lacking or something they need help with. Shaky cam is another common question. Personally, I don't really like shaky cam. It gives me a headache and I can't always tell what's happening. If there's camera shake, I tend to believe it should be because a cameraman is moving to get the shot, not because it is to hide an actor's inability to fight. However, if you want to add shaky cam more than you have to, that is your choice. It's all about working in what you want.
I love shaky cam.
Shut the hell up, Russell!
Can I have my office back?
No! I call this section miscellaneous because I have no idea what to title everything under. So here we go. To save time, have a fight scene planned out, but don't be afraid to improvise. If something doesn't work at the time, just change it. That's all about thinking on your feet. If there's a flashy move an actor can't perform convincingly, scrap it. It's not worth ruining the entire fight just for that one thing. You won't ask a baker to make you a steak. Just because you're a filmmaker doesn't mean you'll know how to shoot a fight scene. If there's someone else you know who can shoot an action scene, ask them for advice. Otherwise, just practice it all by yourself. You'll learn your own style eventually. Before I go, I want to remind everyone one thing. Fight scenes, can be unrealistic. A real fight sometimes doesn't last any longer than 30 seconds at most. A film fight can go up to 4 minutes, or even more. Don't be discouraged whenever people say, oh, that's so unrealistic. Unless it's a documentary, anything in film can be dramatized to a certain degree. If you envision a fight scene a certain way, go for it. If it turns out bad, it turns out bad. You have to be willing to try.
Get out of my office. This is my house, and I can't. You treated me very poorly. Get out. Sorry about that. That's it for this week. I'm gonna leave you with a few links to various fight movies by Andrew. Are you still here?
Yes. Want something from Wawa? No?
Coffee.
Ice or chill latte?
This much French vanilla creamer.